Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the General Show. So I'm back once again with another episode where I'm now discussing finance or the happenings because we need to understand what happens around us, where we're investing our money, and the different implications of that. Remember, it's just a discussion. It's not end all and be all. You need to do your own research, and you can also have your own opinions. You can comment, you can do whatever, ladies and gentlemen. It's just an open discussion. So it's been revealed today that the South African GDP for the first quarter, I presume means the first 3 months of the year, increased by 0.4%. The previous quarter, we had declined by 1.1% because of the rolling blackouts, which are stage 6, which, plain and simple, every single day there was about 12 hours available of electricity, and in most instances during the productive times there was no electricity. So I don't know which figures these are, where we're growing, but I see a decline in the whole country's economics generally. See, so yeah, I'm not sure how this is a good thing for the next person because everything is becoming expensive. Well, expensive is an understatement. I haven't seen a price decline in such a very long time, even though they're promising that petrol will decrease, petrol and diesel. That's supposed to make the food prices decrease, but then I doubt because how long have people been taking these food retailers to the price commission so that they can fix their prices, because the prices are escalating ever since 2020. They've just been escalating things. So I'm not sure how this translates as a good thing to the general person. Maybe for some business sectors it's a good thing, but then in general, as a consumer, life is becoming expensive. Worse off, I saw somewhere where they were saying a person will get a 5% salary increase, but then inflation is at 8%. So who fixes that 3% deficit? If we really crunch down the numbers, that brings in very interesting factors. But yeah, it's what one can say, that it's an interesting observation. If South Africa had solved the load shedding problem earlier, we'd be one of the best performers in BRICS. But as far as I can tell, we're the second last out of the 5 countries, which is very bad for us. Then moving on from what has been said about the GDP, apparently the GDP is to be projected that it'll grow 2% for this year. I have strong doubts for that because the blackouts have created, I wouldn't say depression, but then people don't have a viable form of reliability when it comes to energy in the country. And that is a very big problem because now small businesses are collapsing, black businesses are collapsing. Only the big corporations can have I don't know, meters upon meters of alternative energy, buying diesel, this and that. Then what happens to the next person who can't? I'm just a small Joe running a business and I'm dependent on Eskom. So this 2%, I doubt. But once again, amen. These, I don't know, economics folk or whoever they called, amen. They bring interesting numbers to us, which unfortunately don't translate very well to the next person, because these rolling blackouts are political. It's not an engineering fault. Many engineers who work with ESCOM and otherwise have mentioned that this is actually a political thing and it needs to be sorted out because it's costing not only South Africa but then literally the SADC region, because if South Africa collapses, every other neighboring country has, by proxy with the agreements it had with South Africa, is also going to collapse, because Botswana started announcing load shedding. As far as I know, they never had that. Zimbabwe actually worsened their load shedding, which they had. Namibia is saying that now they're going to start having load shedding, which shouldn't have been the case. So you see, it's one of those things where we need to be cognizant of what are the implications of these things. So you and I, as an investor who just started out as a student or first paying job, we need to know these factors because it's going to negate where we are going to put our money at. I'll give an example. I read an article that said that for the first quarter, South Africa exported the most maize that it's ever exported. I think it was to China and to Zimbabwe. Those were the two main suppliers which they had. And in my head, I was like, okay, this is very good. So if I was to invest in businesses which are in the stock exchange, which are doing agriculture, upward trajectory for them. So I'd invest in those. That's why you need to know about the economy and how it's going so that you know where your money is going. Because we're diversifying here, remember, we're not just putting our money into one basket, we're putting it into multiple baskets and then yielding the most and efficient things that we can do. And with reports from Stats SA, it's reported that 8 out of 10 sectors in South Africa showed positive growth. So obviously, as I mentioned before, agriculture has to be there. Mining is always one of our world leaders because we're the second mineral or second resource rich country in Africa. Finance, real estate, because everyone is buying into property, which is both a good and a bad thing. Logistics also, and a few other sectors, they are showing growth, which is once again, for the general person, I don't see how that improves our quality of life because everything is so expensive. I got an SMS yesterday that my transactions for international subscriptions, like for Apple, and since I don't study in the country, for let's say I swipe in to buy or something like that, it's increased by R1, and that had never happened. Mind you, I've been outside the country for like at least 5 years, so for it to change whatever amount it is in 5 years clearly has big impact on me. So that wasn't nice to see. So yeah, every transaction is literally R1 extra with the bank that I bank. I'm not sure how the other banks will perform because my many different videos of my experience with FNB standard and all of that. Hopefully it will change over the next few years, but I'm fine where I am with my bank. That's the best that I can do, I guess. But yeah, it is what it is for the next person. And then there was a report that South Africa has more money in digital form than it does in physical notes. So in digital form, they mean that people aren't exactly having money in chunks of money. Physical money, the purses or so, but then they have it digitally. The card, crypto, shares, dividends, all of these things. So it's very interesting how we are becoming digital, but we don't have electricity. That's a very interesting analysis. So yeah, it's one of those things, man, that I don't know what to make of it, but I guess we revolutionized. But they should just give us more money where we're working and so that we can earn more, you see. So yeah, it is that, man. It is genuinely that. Yeah, what can one say? And then the interesting one from America. So Binance, I'm not sure if many people know about it. So essentially, it's like a digital platform where one can trade, exchange, and even buy cryptocurrencies from whichever country that you're in. Just need to register and comply with your country's financial regulations, and then you are good to go. So they're saying Binance is recording one of the highest withdrawals from their customers than ever before. So this is a big red flag. If most of the people start withdrawing their investments from your platform, it means that there's something wrong. Either a collapse is coming or they're losing confidence in your platform. So yeah, it's bringing about a big upheaval in the crypto space. We'll see how the developments of that go, because at one stage I was a crypto investor, and then I saw the volatility. I wasn't happy with it, so I just took my losses, and then yeah. Although I must note, I did make a few hundreds of money, but then it was a thing of on Friday it's profiting, on Monday I'm losing. So it's like the volatility was just too high for me, so I opted out of it, and then yeah, I diversified into other platforms like easy equities, which was more doable, easy properties for me, and then I also did precious metals. Then a bit of money I do save in, what do you call this, in my savings account, because as a person you need to day spending. So apparently the reason people started withdrawing their monies was because Binance was being sued by SEC, which I presume is a regulatory body for such platforms in America. And they once sued a similar platform called FTX, and it literally plummeted and ceases to exist as we speak in profitability. I think they're liquidating it now if it's not fully liquidated. So yeah, hopefully we'll see what Binance does, because a lot of people all over the world have put trust in it, and these things have implications. So yeah. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, as I always say, the reason I want us to talk about these things is because we need to know where our money is going, the consequences of it, but then in a generalized, simplified way. Hence, we're having these discussions. But yeah, it's projected that we're going to have a tough 2 quarters, which they're going to indicate recession, but hopefully we survive. Besides that, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen.